Welcome back to another installment of Nightmares and News. I'm your host Bumps in the Night, and here's the news. We start off 2024 with Steamboat Willie entering the public domain. That's right, a second Mickey Mouse horror movie has been announced recently. Steamboat Willie is all over the horror spectrum. The short film that introduced Mickey Mouse to the world in 1928, Steamboat Willie, entered the public domain as of January 1st, 2024, and a handful of Mickey Mouse-themed horror projects are already on their way. The upcoming video game Infestation 88 will be featuring a monstrous version of Mickey, while horror movie Mickey's Mousetrap is also coming soon. That's just the tip of the iceberg with mouse-shaped ears, as Vanity has announced recently that another Steamboat Willie / Mickey horror movie are already in the works. Steve Lamort, who directed last year's The Mean One, itself a horror movie that turned the iconic Grinch character into a slasher maniac, Steven will sit in the director's chair for the upcoming titled horror comedy, which will of course be centered around a sadistic mouse who will torment a group of unsuspecting ferry passengers. Steamboat Willie has brought joy to generations, but beneath the cheerful exterior lies a potential for pure, unhinged terror. Are you looking forward to these projects? We for sure think they'll be interesting. We turn our attention to a new kind of horror movie, Lisa Frankenstein. Lisa Frankenstein is an upcoming American horror comedy written by Diblo Cody and directed by Zelda Williams, and her feature-length directorial debut. The film stars Katherine Newton and Cole Sprouse. Lisa Frankenstein is scheduled to be released February 9, 2024 in the United States by Focus Features. In 1989, a misunderstood teenage goth girl named Lisa Swallows reanimates a handsome corpse from a Victorian era during a lightning storm. It starts to build him into a man of her dreams by using a broken tanning machine in her garage. After going through a playful, horrific transformation, the romantic duo embark on a murderous journey to find true happiness in a few missing body parts along the way. Do you plan on watching this one? We sure do. We're a sucker for anything 80s. In FNAF news, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 has an update from Josh Hutcherson. Last year was a huge year for Blumhouse Productions, as the video game adaptation Five Nights at Freddy's became the company's highest-grossing movie of all time. Released in theaters and available for streaming on Peacock on the same day, the Emma Tammy-directed horror movie made $289 million at the box office worldwide in the final months of 2023. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is of course on the way, and though the sequel hasn't officially been greenlit, it's only a matter of time before the animatronics return to the big screen. After all, low-budget horror movies don't make $289 million and not get sequels. And last week, Josh Hutcherson provided a small update. I know they're in the process right now of nailing down the story, and they want to get it going as soon as possible, Hutcherson tells. Obviously, the fans are amazing and diehard. For me to be a part of it was so cool and phenomenal. We hoped it would connect with the audiences, but I don't think that anybody, even on our side of things, expected it to really connect the way it did. I'm dying to get back on the set. Emma Tammy, our director, was fantastic, and it was such a fun world to play in. End quote. So what are your thoughts? The expectation is we'll be seeing Five Nights at Freddy's 2 sometime in 2025. Kicking it back old school, we take a look at cosmic survival horror game Rotten Flesh, which launches January 20th on Steam. You won't have to wait very long for Steel Krill Studios' upcoming cosmic horror game Rotten Flesh, as developers have announced a January 20th release on Steam. Accompanying the announcement is a short but sweet trailer highlighting the basics of the game, all while showing off the game's throwback PS1 graphics. In case you missed it, Rotten Flesh has you stuck in the sewers searching for your beloved dog Roy. The main mechanic has you using your microphone to call for Roy, though it's totally optional. If Roy hears you, he'll bark back as a response. However, you and Roy aren't the only things in the sewer, and what's down here isn't exactly human. Not only will you need to be selective in your calling for Roy, you'll also need to be aware of the things like broken glass, moving and knocking over objects, and other movements that could make sounds alerting whatever is down there in the sewers to your presence. If you do catch the attention of whatever creatures are down in the sewers, you can hide to evade them, or if you're unable to hide, you'll have to make use of the weapons available to you, but they're in short supply. What are your thoughts on this? It sounds like an interesting play, and if we ever get our PC up and running, we plan to add it to our library. Back to the Upside Down once again, Stranger Things 5. Production has officially begun on the final season of Netflix's hit series. Netflix shared a behind-the-scenes image of the assembled cast accompanying the announcement below. Stranger Things 5 will be the final season of Netflix's hit series. And Netflix recently announced during an event that Terminator icon Linda Hamilton will also star in the series. Of course, just because the main series is coming to an end doesn't mean future Stranger Things projects aren't on the way. Could we be seeing spin-off shows in the future? The Duffer Brothers tease that there are still many more exciting stories to tell within the world of Stranger Things. New mysteries, new adventures, new unexpected heroes. The Season 4 finale set the stage for a final season that will bring the action entirely back to Hawkins. With the rift between Hawkins and the Upside Down now completely open by the monster behind it all, Vecna, when can you expect to see Season 5's premiere? Likely 2025. Xbox fans rejoice! Your physical version of Daymare 1994 Sandcastle arrives on the Xbox Series X and Xbox One this April. Xbox owners who've been waiting for their physical versions of Daymare 1994 Sandcastle will have their prayers answered this spring. Invader Studios and publisher of GS2 Games have announced that the long-delayed physical retail copy of their follow-up to 2019's Daymare 1998 will arrive for the Xbox Series on April 9th. The Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 5, and the PlayStation 4 versions of Daymare 1994 launched last August. The prequel to Daymare 1998, Sandcastle cast players as Special Agent Dahlia Reyes, a former government spy now in the service of Hades, Hexacore Advanced Division for Extraction and Search. Reyes' mission seems simple: enter the most advanced experimental research center in the United States of America. Daymare 1994 Sandcastle is described as having a perfect mix of fierce and deadly enemies, hardcore action game mechanics, environmental puzzles, a chilling soundtrack, plenty of exploration, and a massive dose of concentrated horror. That's all the news I have for you today, my lovely fiends. Thanks for watching. I've been your host, Bumps in the Night, and remember, horror is a burrito thing. We'll see you in the next one.